Welcome back to the Vet Farm Network podcast. This week, I want to invite you to join us for the Vet Farm Network Live and also take a few minutes to explain the larger American Vet Farm Network program, how it's funded, and what we're able to do and offer through this grant for the next few years. Vet Farm Network Live is going to be our monthly Zoom gathering for military veterans and currently serving military members who are exploring farming. It happens on the second Thursday of each month, and pre-registration is required so we can send you that Zoom link. These sessions are not formal webinars. They're not recorded lectures. They're more like office hours. You're welcome to ask a question, join the conversation, or simply listen while you're doing chores, driving, feeding animals, or catching up at the end of a long day. Life's busy, and you do not need to show up with your camera on or with the perfect question. This is a low pressure environment. Maybe you recently transitioned out of the military and bought a piece of land, but you're not sure what to do first. Maybe you're still serving or deployed overseas, and farming is something you're thinking about doing in the future. Maybe you're already farming but frustrated by the lack of profit on your farm, or you're considering adding a new enterprise and want to think it through before pulling the trigger. Maybe you're a veteran living with a chronic illness and need adaptive equipment, or you're concerned about food security and want to start raising some food for your family or your community. Wherever you're starting from, you're welcome to join us for these office hours called the American Vet Farm Network Live. This month, our conversation is going to be called What Beginning Farmers Usually Overspend On. We'll talk about purchases and decision that can get a new farmer into trouble before they really understand their land, their soil, their markets, their regulations, or their long-term business goals. That might include buying land before testing out your farm idea, purchasing too much tractor, investing in expensive livestock or registered breeding stock too early, buying fancy feeders or equipment before you really need them, building permanent infrastructure too soon, overlooking zoning. Whatever the requirements are, you might want to think about it before you start. And you're probably going to need that if you're going to be selling farm products to the public or applying for grants or just operating as a farm business. We want you to ask better questions before spending your money. Ask yourself, what are you trying to produce? Who are you selling to? What does your land actually need? What does your town, county, or state require to operate a business? Could you test it out on a smaller scale first? What purchases will move your farm forward, and what purchases can wait? Farming rarely comes with a one-size-fits-all answer. Land, experience, family obligations, finances, markets, regulations, health, and long-term goals all matter. That's why the American Vet Farm Network exists. We're a program of Addie's Orchard. It's supported through the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture 2501 program. This program is designed to support outreach, education, technical assistance for farmers and ranchers who have historically had less access to agricultural resources and USDA programs. That includes military veterans. Through this funding, Addie's Orchard is able to expand the American Vet Farm Network and offer support to veterans who are exploring farming or trying to build a more informed path forward. That support includes tailored farm coaching, educational programming, online resources, Vet Farm Network live sessions, and opportunities to connect with other beginning veteran farmers. The goal is not to hand everyone the same checklist. Farming is just too specific for that. Someone starting with 5 acres and chickens has different questions than someone looking at Christmas tree production, livestock, vegetables, hay, agritourism, or a value-added product. Someone who already owns land has very different questions than someone trying to decide whether to lease first. Someone farming with a chronic illness or a disability, off-farm job, a young family, or limited capital may need to think through the next step very carefully. This is where technical assistance can help. If you have a question that can be answered in the group, Vet Farm Network Live may save you the step of scheduling one-on-one technical assistance and having a call. But if your question is more personal or specific to your land, finances, business idea, family situation, health, or long-term goals, that's okay too. The live session can be a starting point, and we can follow up with one-on-one technical assistance when that makes more sense. Since launching, we've heard from veterans, service members, and military spouses in more than 8 states and in Puerto Rico, many coming in with complex, multi-part questions about land, financing, production models, training, and long-term business planning. Our role is to help people sort through those questions, connect with credible resources, and identify practical next steps based on their goal and situation. So, if you're a veteran or currently serving military member and you're thinking about farming, join us this Thursday for Vet Farm Network Live.